where in America I want Donald Trump to win for very obvious reasons, but I'm not even going to say. But I wanted Donald Trump to win, so I said, where can I go to have the most influence on the elections? Okay, I'm from Maryland. So I said, where's the state where I can make the most difference? Maybe Wisconsin. So I came to Wisconsin, and after I decided to come here, they decided to have the Republican convention here. But I didn't want to live in a big city, so I was like, where do I live in? Which little city near Wisconsin, near Milwaukee? And then they came on the TV and they said, I asked the question, and the guy comes on the TV and says, the best place in America to live is Green Bay. And then I went to a place called Clay Street, and over there I found a place to sleep, and that's Adam Clay. So that's what I'm telling people, that Adam was made of clay, and God shaped him with his hands. Now, as long as he didn't tell his wife, why didn't he tell his wife, just don't eat the fruit? Why did he tell her, don't touch your tree? Right. He allowed the snake to exist, because if he had told her the way it was, don't touch the fruit, don't eat the fruit, then the snake could never have said anything.
Right.
I would like to work for the Trump...
the Trump campaign?
The Trump campaign.
Uh-oh. Got somebody's attention. What's happening, YouTube? Thank you for kicking it with Midwest Street Talk. Make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button. And for those who choose to help me help others, there's a GoFundMe link in the description. Jeff Mordecai. Jeff Mordecai?
Yeah.
What kind of name is that?
It's a mixture of a Christian name and a Jewish name.
Oh, okay, that's dope. That's different.
Yeah, Jeff was a crusader that met Rashi, and Rashi told him how to be king of Jerusalem, or he told him not how to conquer Jerusalem, but not to be the king. He said, you can't be the king of Jerusalem, but you can conquer it. And he said, but I want to be king. The Pope said, I'll be king if I take it now, first to take it. So Rashi said, well, you only come back home with 3 soldiers, so I don't recommend it. He says, if I come home with 4, I'll kill you. So he came back home with 4, and as he walks into the city of Troy, one rock fell off the gate and killed the poor guy. And then afterwards, he kept his word. That guy, he was a very, very brave man, and he kept his word.
Okay, and then where you from, man?
I was born in Dakar, Senegal. So I'm actually a white African-American Jew, if you can believe that.
Whoa.
Yeah, I really am.
Is that South Africa?
Huh?
Is that South Africa?
No, it's unfortunately it's where all the slaves came from.
Okay.
It's that port called Dakar.
Okay, Dakar.
Yeah, Senegal.
Okay. What brought you to Green Bay, Wisconsin?
I'm trying to bring the bones of Rabbi Nachman to Jerusalem from the Ukraine, and that's the only way to world peace. Forget it, everything else is foolish. And the reason is because Joseph made his brothers promise that they would take his bones out. And everybody thinks the brothers did it, but the brothers didn't do it because the only guy who brought the bones out was Moses. And Moses came out of the water where Joseph was buried. And when Moses died, when he was 120, he passed the bones on to Yehoshua ben Nun. Now, non-Jews don't know it because they think that it's Yehoshua, son of Nun. But it's not. It's bin, and bin means between, and Nun means fish. So is Yehoshua between the fish. And the reason why they call him Yehoshua between the fish is because his father was a deep state, and he threw his son to the fish so that he would die, like Pharaoh. He was more loyal to Pharaoh than to his son, of course. And his son survived because the fish, like Tarzan, he grew up with the fish. So anyways, he became the executioner of Pharaoh eventually. And anyways, he's the one who carried the bones after Moses. Now, why is this important? Because both came out of the water where Joseph was buried. That's unusual. And then the person who buried Yehoshua ben Nun and Joseph afterwards was Serach bat Asher, was the oldest woman in Jewish history. And the reason why is because she was supposed to marry him, and she didn't get to marry him because they sold him as a slave. So she stayed loyal and the virgin, and she eventually buried him. So Joseph came out on his own. So the promise hasn't been kept. I don't want to make this too complicated, but the only person that kept the promise was Yehuda, but he was already dead, so he didn't let them take his bones out. So a lot of things you'll understand on your own from this.
Okay.
But the point is that when I'm saying, please rest in peace, Nachman from Uman, Rabbi Nachman achieved a level of purity which was higher than Joseph. Okay? Joseph was so pure that when Pharaoh took Joseph up to be his advisor, all the magicians of Egypt became priests instantly. And then when Pharaoh forgot about Joseph, they all went back to becoming magicians again. But the whole time that Pharaoh had as a high priest was Joseph, then there were no magicians in Egypt. They were all priests.
Okay.
So that's what I'm working for. So I'm trying to keep the promise, because if you think about it, the words that are coming out of your mouth, they're the words of God. And the breath that's coming out of your mouth is infinite. Now, why did I come to Green Bay? Why did I come to Green Bay? First day I get to Green Bay, I didn't have a job, I didn't have anything, and I went to a place called Adam Street. And over there they gave me a job right away, a temporary job for lasted a week. And then I went to a place called Clay Street, and over there I found a place to sleep, and that's Adam Clay. So that's what I'm telling people, that Adam was made of clay, and God shaped him with his hands. Now, as long as he didn't tell his wife, why didn't he tell his wife, just don't eat the fruit? Why did he tell her, don't touch your tree?
Right.
He allowed the snake to exist, because if he had told her the way it was, don't touch the fruit, don't eat the fruit, then the snake could never have said anything.
Right.
So what we've done is every time we lie and every time we don't tell the truth, we destroy this incredible power we have, which comes from God himself. Now, Bilam was a bad guy, but he didn't lie. So he had that power too, just like Moses, right? But he was a bad guy. So I'm not telling you this will make you a good guy, but it'll make you a powerful person. Now, if you want to be a good guy, the trick is to say, please rest in peace, Nachman Fuman. Whenever you say, please rest in peace, Nachman Fuman, God takes away any sadness you ever had. Like you didn't get spanked when you were born, you never cried in your life, you're new every minute. And as a person that's never sad, there's no fear. There's total faith. Faith comes from joy. If you're nervous or worried, it means you don't have faith, man. So if you are always happy and you were never sad in your life, you have incredible faith. So there you are. So this is the trick. So when you say, please rest in peace, Nachman from Uman, he takes away any sadness you had. As a result, that makes us the United States. Now, why did I come here? I'll give you 3 reasons. I can give you 4, but America is the Reuven of the world. Reuven gets the blessing before everybody else, and they say because he's the firstborn son. It's not. He's the firstborn son because he keeps his promises. He told Moses on his own idea, he said, I'm going to defend everybody, and then I'll go home. And that's what happened under Donald Trump. They made something called the Potomac Declaration. The U.S. Army said, we're going to protect all the believers of the world. We're taking responsibility for them. And if they keep their word, then they're like Reuven. And that's more important than being a king, and that's more important than being a priest. And so I'm here. Now, we're in America. I want Donald Trump to win for very obvious reasons, but I'm not even going to say. But I wanted Donald Trump to win, so I said, where can I go to have the most influence on the elections? Okay, I'm from Maryland. So I said, where's the state where I can make the most difference? Maybe Wisconsin. So I came to Wisconsin, and after I decided to come here, they decided to have the Republican convention here. But I didn't want to live in a big city, so I was like, where do I live in? Which little city near Wisconsin, near Milwaukee? And then they came on the TV and they said, I asked the question, and the guy comes on the TV and says, the best place in America to live is Green Bay. So not Hawaii, not Alaska, not Florida, Green Bay. So that's what I wanted to know, which town I should live near Milwaukee. So that's how I got here.
Okay, dope, man. Let me ask you something. Coming up, where did you grow up, pretty much?
My father's a diplomat, so I speak like 5 languages, 4 fluently. And my mission in life is to seek for peace. I want peace in the world.
Where did you grow up personally?
I grew up in Belgium. I grew up in France. I grew up in yeah.
Were you a military child?
It's like the military. It's the State Department, and the State Department has an enormous amount of power. And right now you have, I think what you got now is the State Department versus the Army.
Okay.
Those are the 2 big powers in the world.
Was mom and dad in the household?
What?
Was mom and dad in the household when you came up?
I'm now, believe it or not, I'm 59, right?
Yeah.
So when my parents got divorced, the day after my bar mitzvah, I wanted to talk about God, and I would say that there's a good point in every human being, which is a divine infinite point, which now I have revealed. This was actually the case. And someone didn't want me to talk about that. Wanted me to talk about Hitler, So I didn't want my bar mitzvah to talk about Hitler. So then there was a divorce the day after that, and it lasted until I was 20. and I actually got it over with. So that's the story of my private life. But I married a woman in Norway who was not Jewish, and I was very surprised. And I was surprised how peaceful it was as long as nobody knew I was Jewish, except my family. And her father saved the Jews of Oslo.
What?
So yeah, and then afterwards, the Jews in Denmark were saved because
What was her father's name?
he's very modest. He didn't want people to know his name. If you go to Yad Vashem, you will not see his name there. So since the man was so modest and he didn't want to reveal his name to anybody, I'm gonna honor him and do the same. Respect him, because he was like always smiling, a very handsome man, always smiling. And then if you try to take a picture of him, he looked like really awful. Like so, he was extremely modest, and he was not Jewish. He was a Christian guy.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay, so you got a deep past. So you say you speak 5 languages.
Yeah.
What are all the languages you speak?
Je parle français, Yasnakonoshk.
Un peu français.
Tu parles un peu de français? Anime la berivrit. Ken, what else? Español. Yeah.
Me habla mucho español.
So, yo no hablo mucho eso.
Okay.
Esa lengua cinco. Número 5. Pero yo hablo francés.
Russian?
Russian, look, there's some languages I did not want to learn.
Okay.
And maybe, I like the King of Morocco. I like this, it doesn't mean I want to learn Arabic. If they respected him more, I would respect Arabic more, put it that way.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to meet him?
Almost.
Wow. So you've been traveling. So before you came to Green Bay, Wisconsin, you said you came from Maryland? I
was from Maryland, yeah.
Okay.
I left Maryland when we're talking about 40 years ago. I've been 40 years out of America. I'm like a real legionnaire, man. I served 40 years overseas, right? And I'm back because Donald Trump. Bringing Rabbi Nachman his peace on earth, right? So there's 3 steps to it. I wanted the American embassy to be brought to Jerusalem. I wanted Jonathan Pollard to be let out of jail. These are 2 things the American government did not want. And the third thing is the bones. And Donald J. Trump, D.J. Trump, yeah. He's the one that did it. Mm-hmm. And he did the first 2, so he's going to do the third. So I want to make sure he wins. Now, the other side knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. And they do not want him to win because they are afraid of this, because they just don't want peace. They want control, monopoly. They want power. They don't want peace. I don't know why.
Yeah. That makes no sense. So what do you do while you're up here? So what do you do for like a living?
I just got here a week ago.
Okay.
And this is the first day I can make, like, this money's going to pay for my rent. I have to pay $100 every week, right, for rent.
Okay, where are you staying?
I'm living at Clay Street, at a place called
Transition House?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, that's my sister's spot.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So I'm there, and
so you know Devin then?
Yeah, that's right.
Shout out Devin, man. That's what's up.
Okay.
Okay, so how you like it there?
Yeah, I'm very happy to be there because, like I said, I'm a Jewish person, and this is something that a Jew is not allowed to do. It's like if Moses takes the bones of Joseph out, it disqualifies, because you guys are Israel, and people don't even realize that. They think Israel is like the Jews, and Israel, that's Israel. That's not true. Jacob made a blessing on all his sons. He said, you guys are going to become nations. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to become nations, come on, tell me how little Israel is all the nations. That's not all the nations.
Right.
The United Nations might be all the nations.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, the United Nations are more or less, many of the nations are against Israel, which again, it's like if you go a rebellion against the priests, Yeah. Maybe the priests aren't so good. Maybe there's a problem there. But let's just say that in Israel, my job was to make Jews happy, because if their Jews are happy and they're united, that makes the job a lot easier for the guys that are outside to do their job, which is to bring the bones.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Are you considered a rabbi, or?
I'm not considered a rabbi, by the rabbis.
Okay.
But by the people in the marketplace and the people in the city, I'm definitely considered a rabbi.
I asked you because have you checked out American foods? They pay a lot of money just to sit there and purify the meat.
Yeah, and no, they wouldn't want me, right?
Why not?
I'm not licensed or whatever,
Oh, okay, I got you.
I would, to get a license, you have to be a member of the club, right?
Right, that makes sense.
But I mean, I did learn the laws, but I don't practice, so I'm not really good at them. But if you have a farm and you want to slaughter your animal in the best possible way, I guess I could review and do the work, to make it, because you don't want the animal to suffer.
Yeah.
And if it goes into a big slaughterhouse, I mean, I'm sorry, but the animal is scared to death by the time you kill it, so that's not really kosher. Not so kosher. So that way, it might get kosher. It might, but I'm not rabbi enough to tell you I can make that meat kosher, right? But
Yeah,
if it's in
that
the
makes
farm,
sense.
if it's in a farmhouse and the animal doesn't know what's happening, it thinks it's like it's a little bit sick, it's a little bit old, it's having a hard life anyways. You
Yeah.
know, it's not like a human being that's gonna, write its memoirs at the end of its life. This is an animal.
Yeah, it's true.
So it doesn't want to suffer anymore. So you put it out of its misery,
Yeah.
and then people have meat and so on.
My next question, I do. Hey, how you doing?
You know
man?
her?
Yeah, that's my lady right there. Oh, so you know her too, then, huh?
Huh?
You know my whole family, then, huh? So
Yeah,
look,
that's Granny.
one last question. What would be your choice job?
My choice job?
Yeah, where would you like to work? I know you said you're looking. Where would you be comfortable working?
I would like to work for the Trump,
Oh, the Trump campaign?
the Trump campaign.
What? Uh-oh. Oh, got somebody's attention. Oh man.
I want Donald Trump to be president.
Okay, so like say for now, like what you want to do, like store clerk, restaurant, customer service. If you couldn't get that job, where else would you like to work?
If I wasn't trying to bring the bones of Rabbi Nachman to Jerusalem,
Yeah.
what would I like to do? I don't care, man. As long as the people that I'm with are cool. That's what I want. You know,
Okay.
be with cool people.
Now let me ask you a question. For those, let's just say, if you see a friend, family, or loved one, or someone that wants to reach out to you, do you have a social media that you want to share?
Social media that I
Like
want.
Facebook or YouTube or
I-
Instagram?
I just, I don't know. I just, well, what I'd like to do is print some books, and stickers.
Yeah.
That can help a lot of people, and then give them out to people. For like very cheap, because the more books you print, the cheaper they get, right?
Okay,
So
so you
there's-
don't have a social media then.
No social media. No, not really.
What about if they want to donate to you? Do you have a cash app that they can donate to you, the viewers?
I have a credit card. I have a
Oh,
card.
no, we don't want to take your card number. I'll tell you what. If they want to send anything, they can reach me on my inbox.
Yeah.
And I'll contact you. You have a phone number I can call you?
Yeah,
on?
yeah, they do.
I'll collect it after the video. One last thing before I let you go. Is there anything you want to say to the viewers?
Yeah, I want to say that. Whoops. But, I'll put it in here. Talking about money. It's the first time it flew away today.
Oh man, that's uncut right there.
That's funny. What does that mean?
Well,
How's it going to come out?
it's gonna come out good.
Okay.
So last thing. Is there anything you want to say to the viewers other than?
I want to say that I love America, and that America gets the blessing before the kings and before the priests, because, like Reuven, you all made a promise at the Potomac Declaration that the U.S. Army was going to defend every religion in the world, every believer in the world, and therefore, number one is Reuven, and he's the firstborn, and America is now the firstborn, and I'm here.
Awesome, man. Thanks for the energy, man.
Sure.
God bless, man. You have a
Amen.
wonderful rest of the day, man.
Amen.
I'll be in touch.